Hello fellow Zimbos. Mazimbabwe makadi. Diriko kuno. Tongotenda edu kuti takwana. So kutotaura unemi. Yeah, I'm fine. My name is Carlos Manyate. Tiso ana majira kumazvingo. Wototiziya sana kumbo. Tiso food. Yeah, Carlos Manyate, that's my name. Anyway, thanks for giving me your attention. Saka panapa mazimbo gati botaura, especially those that are in South Africa. Zimbos that are in South Africa. Let's be honest. Reality in South Africa calls for an introspection. That's it. Because the Zimbabwean's exemption permit is story, honestly speaking, is not giving hope. I know. You know, at times, let's just have a talk around this issue, Zimbabwean exemption permit story. The Republic of South Africa, as you know, those that are in South Africa are especially an audience to this conversation. Those that are in South Africa, you will remember that we were given a year. By now, we should be counting down days to end the initial announcement of 31st of December 2022. But I don't know whether can I say God was gracious or what. But given yet another 6 months, by the end of June 2023, that is it may, that is it is, you will also remember that that date will come, and it will surely come. As much as the 31 December is almost, that also narrows down the June end. Definitely will get to the end and the bottom of this. Therefore, let's be honest, guys. What's our reality that we are faced with? Because the government seems not to be backing down. It's not going back. It's holding on fast and stronger to its decisions. And if you want to see, I have followed the Zimbabwe community in South Africa, I've followed the Zimbabwe forums, and all that. Quite a few of these associations and organizations that claims to stand for our situation. None of them, if you can be honest, that is an accurate answer. None. Absolutely none. That being the case, I said let's be realistic, guys. I'm one of you who is also a holder of that ZEP. I've looked around. The truth is, there is no hope here. There is nothing that the government is saying. I know politicians who will understand this term. Let me pass my politics. Those who are looking at capitalism, those who are looking at socialism, you'll know the difference. And for your own information, Zimbabweans, I wish one day we can talk about these things. If you look at politics, what is on our advantage is socialism. One argues, what philosophy is ANC? ANC is accommodative to both. So let's leave that one. But those who will understand these two philosophies, capitalism and socialism, will agree with me that at least socialism is somehow lenient to our situation, not capitalism. But the current situation, there is no hope, guys. Let's just be honest with one another. There is no hope for Zimbos. There is no hope. Unless miraculously, and I know some of you are waiting for those who understand the philosophy that I spoke about of capitalism and socialism, they are waiting for the ANC December conference to at least somehow determine what is the fate of our state. Looking at who is going to take over, what will be the state of things, who is going to come and blah, 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 blah. But let's leave that aside. How about if it doesn't happen? Even if it happens, South Africans, okay, another thinking on the ground. South Africans, you'll agree with me, they are also looking at the current situation of politics. Really, because there is a half-bread that all of us are scrambling over. Definitely those that are owners of the bread, they will fight us. I'm one of those who don't have a problem with the Dudula. I don't put South Africa first. I don't have a problem with that. Why? I understand we just have a quarter bread and we are so many for a quarter bread. I understand. Some of you, if you can be honest, Zimbos, at your uncle's place. And at some point, there is a way of bringing up that was not exactly because you were not at your home. I wish I can be a full-time YouTuber. One of the areas that I will get into, it is that one of close to Kumbuleka, the SABC one story. Because Zimbos, a lot of you don't even know. Some people grew up with the mother, they don't know where the father is.
At least somebody must mediate and bring the father and trust the father, trust the mother, trust the relatives, whatever. So the majority of us who grew up under the uncle's place, the auntie's place, whoever is not our biological parents, somewhere into the stepmothers, somehow there was that treatment from the back of the head. Not as warm as the kids from this home. So yes, I don't fight with the South Africans on those bases that I know when you don't belong there, this is what you experience. But then there is this reality again, Zimbos. Let's also be honest. Life has to continue. I wish I would repeat. Life has to continue. Because life has to continue. What next for us? Those who read the Bible, you remember that a boy went to his uncle's place, Laban. Those who read the Bible. And at some point, the face of the uncle and the cousins had changed. So because of that, obviously the guys had to go back home. In our case, we might be going back home. We might be going abroad, your island, your UK, Australia, wherever. You might be remaining in South Africa. You might be going to Botswana, Namibia. I don't know where will you be, but the reality of this Zimbabwe exemption permit, its life has come to an end. If indeed nothing changes, don't you think it's wise to have a plan now? What next in my life? And one of the things that I also saw, there are people who applied for the new permits that are said to move to these new permits. But the truth of the matter is, some of the legalities, terminologies, jargons that are used there, why in your company are you permanent? How can you be permanent when you have a temporal workers permit? They've been playing around those terms, closing out some people who thought they have professionalism in this. And indeed, it's hell putting on our clothes. Because the future is dark, we can't tell where we are going. Unfortunately, the majority of us don't even face that reality. They seem to be at ease and think things are normal when things are this bad. For me, that's how I look at it. Things are very bad. But at least, you can also think of something whilst in that situation. You can think of something. Remember I said, at the uncle's place, where this is not your biological parents bringing you up. And some people were dumped by their parents, they don't know where they are. The life where you don't belong definitely is difficult. That's our situation in Zimbos in South Africa. Let's accept that. You may trust the political philosophy running the country. But because of the two philosophies that are always running the country, which is socialism and capitalism, the other one is not on our side. The other one definitely not on our side. That's the reason number two. That we must accept the reality. Well, back home, if you look back home, we have a political situation which is extremely difficult. But there is something that I've learned in life. I have learned that a difficult time is a school for one to have a lesson, to learn something. A difficult moment every time. When facing a difficult, can you build a lesson out of it? I'm one of those who never dreamt of coming to this country. When I came here, my mom was shocked when I called her and told her, "Ma'am, I've gone." She was shocked and said, "How come, man?" Because I told her I don't want to be there. But the reality of the difficulties taught me, I wish I can emphasize this point several times and make my point for the day. Reality of the difficulties taught me, man, jump and follow others. Wow, I came to SA. That's where I am now. But I'm also saying that I have the period in the country that it must have taught me, or in fact, because I'm assuming, let me say I have learned that life has to teach you something, then you move to the next thing. Because life has to continue. Life has to continue. Even if, listen, I lost my father when I was still young, doing grade 6, but life had to continue. Life had to continue. Probably you also lost your beloved people who were breadwinners. Life had to continue. Even after the ZEP, life still has to continue. Life has to continue. You know, you can't lose your loved ones and then what the whole year. You will chamber the whole year until nothing happens. Instead, your life deteriorates, goes down even to the worst extremes. You'll be the talk of the town. That we are not feeling one chema of the last year, one chema, and I don't pay guy. So not tanga na year feel never be again. Yes, the pain continues, but at some point, there must be an acceptance. To those that are doing psychology, they will tell you of the stages of accepting and dealing with pain. The first one is to accept that, yes, I have lost my parents. Then what? Which is exactly our situation, but the ZEP thing is gone. What next? ZEP thing is gone. That's the reality you must put yourself in. Whether a miracle will come our way, that's something else, especially the low-skilled people. Let's not lie to ourselves. I know a lot of you have depended on what the court will say, but you are betting on something that you don't have an assurance on. You don't know. I know Simba Chitando. I know the guy from this social media. I've seen him on the television. He's challenging the government stance. But the truth of the matter is, you are challenging the government in its own right and position to do what they are doing. You are fine. You have the right to do that. But I'm saying I know they are doing that. But how about if the government says no? Because its current position, you know what this government did? They have closed the door, locked the door, and they shouted to the outsiders, please come in. When you handle the door wanting to come in, you say it's locked, no one answers you. When you say, no, I want to come in, you do not say, I said come in. That's the situation we are in. The door is locked. The people inside are saying come in. But the way to go in is not there. Imagine, you are asked that if you want a general visa workers thing, you have to prove from the newspapers, the advertising South Africans who cannot do this. That's a non-starter. That, as long as that thing is not scrapped, you are struggling with the waiver thing and waiver thing that you are trying to waiver. Nothing seems to materialize. When you listen to the minister from the televisions and radios, he will say a few people are applying. Why the few? Is because the reality of the majority of us, there is no way to apply this. There is nothing for us. Rufu, Tafiro. Then what next? What next? Tafiro, that's the reality. What next? That's the question I have. Well, amongst the other things that one might think of, a lot of our friends and relatives, our fellow Zimbos, have gone to the UK, Ireland. A lot of people have gone there. And once somebody was telling me a story that they have a relative who was paid better in South Africa, about 30K. But they went to the UK, that side, equating it to South African rand. They are paid something like 18 something, close to 19,000 rands. Just equating what they are getting that side with the rate currently. They are less paid now. But they left this side and went to the UK thinking all will be bliss. It is not always the case. But I'm saying, some of you might think of going to the UK. Please go. Because the question that we have is, what next? Do you have the way to go? If it is working for you, please go. Some of you have decided to do other things. But can I also throw something in the basket of the what next? One of the things that I've asked myself a lot is that if I go back to Zimbabwe now, who is going to employ me? Just imagine a domestic worker. They are getting something like 5, 7, 8,000, depending, 10,000, depending on your employer, how much do they pay. Even the least pay, they are paid way better than some professions in Zimbabwe that are professional, having spent the 4 years in your universities. The domestic workers, some of the domestic workers, they are overpaid than you do. That's why some of the people come to this country and they found an opportunity with the domestic field. They go in regardless of their profession. Why? Because they are paid better. I mean, scaling or putting and seeing what they are paid that side and what they get here. They go for it. Then I asked myself, who is going to pay me when I get to Zimbabwe and ask for employment? Who? How much is that person going to pay me? I'm looking at a very difficult point. You know? So I've got this option also to throw. Please get hold of this one. Money, get this one straight. I'm thinking we just have to be taught about business to do your own business. Do you know that there is a skill needed even in the business of farming? Whether you want to sell tomatoes on the street, you need some kind of a skill in it to manage it. Otherwise, if you don't, that's why a lot of people, I'm one of those who took money twice trying to do business because I didn't have the skill to do it. Then I failed. So I'm saying, from the 11th, this coming Sunday, the 11th of December, the whole week, for the next 7 days, we have decided to know, maybe if there are people like that who are asking what next, come together, let's come together. And there's a guy that we have brought in, but he's in Zimbabwe. This guy is going to run a business seminar, at least giving us an idea as to what next from where we are, what are possibilities, what is next expected if anyone wants to do anything productive. If you want to do business, the next thing you can do and expected of you, please, there is a business opportunity that you can do. You can still do it. Let me give you an example. Do you know that you have been a domestic worker for long to understand a lot of these other jargons in the field of domestic? If you think there is a beautiful business idea that you can extract out of that, there are still people with money in Zimbabwe. You can provide them, whether you want to be an agent for them or whether you want to go about doing some stuff. There are things that you learn that must be a skill for you to do a business out of. You have been a restaurant, you have been a petrol attendant. There is something that you learned in South Africa, but for you to take what you have learned in the period you have been here and put it into practice for a business, a source of income for your family to continue living, somebody must give you a direction as to how businesses are done. Some people have gone to the university to study business management for 4 or 5 years. I don't know. Some have got PhDs, degrees, whatever, masters. But they are willing to come to our level as the street people, the publicans, to at least give us an idea where to start, drive us, work with us from levels after levels. So the guy we are having is called Brett Chulu. He's a columnist, he's a mathematician, business management. He's an author. He wrote about, if I'm not mistaken, it's 3 books. Yeah, very good guy. So he's saying, come, let's have the whole week doing business seminar, talking about, especially to us, Zimbos, whom our cousins and our uncle has turned their back on us. We can't therefore cry forever. Life has to continue. Let's come to this week of business seminar. The whole week in business seminar. The whole week. And the good thing, this will be done virtually on WhatsApp. And the good thing about WhatsApp is, at least you can keep the record. You can follow back the notes. There is engagement that can be done with this guy. But how do you get into this business seminar? If you understand that you really need this situation, how do you get in? This is what you do. Well, unfortunately, it's not free. And very fortunate, it's not free. Just 100 rand, 100 rand, 100 rand. You pay your 100 rand. If I get that 100 rand, you WhatsApp me your 100, your proof of payment into the bank account. If you don't have the bank account, if you want to e-wallet it, but e-wallet, no, it's not going to do it because a lot of people, they can send the proof and reverse. They can play jargons on that. Let's not do e-wallet. Let's not do e-wallet. Let it be deposited into the bank. Then it will reflect. This is what you do. You put your money into the FNB bank. Let me give you the bank account. 6233-879-1818. Let me repeat. 6233-879-1818. 6233-879-1818. Now, that's an FNB check account. The account holder is YP Gumbo. Now, with that account, when you have put your money, please make your name and send them the reference. Then you WhatsApp me the proof of payment to this following number, mobile number, 065-898-4573. 065-898-4573. Let me repeat it again. 065-898-4573. You WhatsApp me, then I'll add you to this WhatsApp group. Make sure by the 11th, on a Sunday, you are already in the group, then we spend the whole week. Let me remind somebody. Don't think from an envious mentality. Don't think like somebody is jealous. No. Think for somebody like somebody who wants to equip yourself. What next? Just like you have all options at the end. The product you are going to get for the whole week for that 100 rand is not equated to what you get. Not at all. Some people, like I said, they go to varsity, they go to colleges to get an idea. But this guy is saying, I can avail myself. Just give me 100 rand, and then the whole week you get engagement. If there is a next step to take, you will have a direct engagement with him, then you do your agreement, because he does have different levels. A lot of people, he has created entrepreneurs in Zimbabwe. A lot. This very guy. A lot. Brett Chulu is a great guy. A great guy. We are lucky to have such people who are willing to come and give us such information, at least at 100 rand. Somebody think. So all we are doing is, this program I'm bringing to you is just throwing another option into the basket. of options one can have since this ZEP thing. In fact, let me tell you, with the information you're going to get, let's say tomorrow morning the court wakes up and say, you now have the permanent stay, permanent residence. The same skills given here in South Africa, you can apply it and be a great person. You can go to the UK. There's another guy by the name Kudown Line, if I'm not mistaken. I once watched one of his YouTube. He says when you come to the UK, can you also come not only to do the nursing, can you also come with a business mind? Don't you think this one will also work everywhere you can go? Because a lot of these agencies that are hiring Zimbos in the UK, they are our fellow brothers, they are Zimbos, they know us. I know of another family that has got a family thing that is doing the very same thing. So if you go there with a business mind, knowing what you want to do, knowing how to do it, who says you cannot be rich? Difficult as Zimbabwe is, it's possible in the difficult to go create your space. Remember, you have your life at your corner. You still have a chance to go back to Zimbabwe and do business in your corner and make money as long as you know how to do it. So please, 100 Rand, pay it into FNB bank account 6233-879-1818, account holder YP Gumbo. The account type is check account. Then WhatsApp your proof of payment, which has a reference of your name and the surname at 065-898-4573. Zimbabweans, please take advantage of this. Let's try to build each other, equip each other. One day we will see that we will never be the same. The truth is, there is no hope with this ZEP. We are putting our cards all over to say whatever works for us. Thank you. Hope to see you. Thank you.